Greetings, geeks. Welcome to Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Takamalda. This is episode 523, Better Off Dead. I am here today with three of the greatest geeks you're ever going to have the opportunity to listen to talk about a movie. I got Nate Ostendorp.
Howdy-ho.
Rob Roseboom.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Chris DeBona.
Remember.
All right, so I had not seen this movie.
What?
And here's the best part about it is that I had this movie mentally confused with the one where John Cusack holds the boombox over his head. And I saw that movie at some point in high school, and from then until 4 days ago when I watched this movie, I believed that those were the same movie. So I watched the first half of this movie, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. And then, and finally, I came to the conclusion.
The old folks' home.
Yeah. I came to the conclusion like that I was in trouble. So I watched the whole movie and then rewatched most of the movie because like I was trying to figure out like, well, wasn't there like a romantic comedy girl in it? Wasn't like there was other stuff? But no, this is
vastly different movies.
This is an absurd.
Yeah, there's no skiing in Say Anything. First of all,
yeah. I had in my notes at like 4 or 5 different points, I'm like, what is this movie? Because you just can't pin down the tone because it kind of feels like a series of short films that are like loosely glued together. But I gotta tell you, man, I laughed my butt off.
So besides something like the Naked Gun franchises or Airplane, I think this movie probably has more jokes and gags per minute than almost any other movie, you know.
I agree.
I also at about 8 or 10 different places thought, when is the dream sequence going to, when is he going to like wake up from this obviously crazy dream? But that's not how this movie works.
No.
Yeah. Also, for me, this movie's a little bit like the show Seinfeld. In that Lane may be my least favorite character. The main character is the least interesting. But I could watch a buddy film with Charles, Ricky, and the Paperboy. Like, if they made like a Netflix series with those dudes hanging out, I'd watch every single episode.
I think that Ricky is really under-recognized for his achievements in this movie. He's in a lot of ways the most realized, most ridiculous, but best acted character in the movie. I mean,
we'll get to
terrific.
him. We'll get to him. He
didn't have much of a career outside of this show. He had a couple of other roles here and there, but he never rose to Newman level stardom.
Oh no, we'll get to him.
Okay.
He's got.
So I would want to point out, Savage Steve Holland, who made this epic, amazing achievement of film, also made One Crazy Summer, another John Cusack / Bobcat Goldthwait movie that is also incredibly charming and good, and I'm tempted to pick, but I'm not going to probably pick it.
Whose pick is it next?
It's either yours or Chris's. I can't remember.
I think it is yours, Mr. Malda, because the black hole is the whatever.
Yeah, because I picked
movie back,
right?
Yep. So
I picked the Dead Zone, so you're the black hole. So it's Malda.
So every time I saw John Cusack wearing those goggles, I thought he was wearing like a VR headset, and he's in them a lot.
Yeah. No, when he set up, I'm like, oh, he's got VR. What?
Yeah. It's like, is this like a Ferris Bueller thing or something where he has access to advanced technologies?
No, those are welding goggles, which doesn't make any sense.
I do
you would not ski in those.
So I will say, in terms of filmcraft, this movie is really technically, there's a lot of really well done stuff. You've got the room plastered with photos of Beth. You've got skiing photos on the wall. All of the running gags are telegraphed before and after, like really well. Like there's competent, thought through filmmaking occurring here.
And look at the picture of the skier in the background. It's a skier with Beth's face pasted on it.
Yep.
I mean, whoever set dressed his room cared.
Totally. Yep.
He takes a shower wearing mismatched socks.
So right. and he wears the socks into the shower.
In the shower.
Yeah.
And then he takes his underpants off.
And then afterwards, he hair dries his socks.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure.
And pointing out, that shower is not one you see anymore. So that is a short depth bathtub. So it's very, very small. It fits in a 4x4 or 3x4 area bathtub with a little corner taken out of it. You saw this in the 50s construction. Boom.
And here we are, one of cinema's most unrecognized villains makes his appearance.
Well, I love David Ogden Stiers' response to him. It's just, he's like,
yeah, there's a lot going on with this kid. Like, I think now knowing more about this movie, I think that this kid is the thing that people remember. You know, everybody remembers American Pie. We all know what you're going to remember from American Pie. I think everybody knows this movie, and that's the $2 thing. And that's that kid, man.
I also want to like give it credit for the Paperboy video game, where one of the game mechanics was throwing papers into people's windows.
Oh, sure.
Yep. They do not screw up.
I just, you know, David Ogden Stiers is actually a remarkable actor, you know, and he was probably, this wasn't his biggest role by any measure, right? He was in MASH forever and he did a lot of other movies, but just, you know, he puts more into this scene than like most actors in the whole movie.
Wearing his wife's nightgown.
Committed.
He's frantic. He's committed to the role. And that's why he's a great actor.
And the first time I saw this movie, I was absolutely dumbfounded that Winchester did not have a New England accent. You know? I was like, wow, acting.
And like, also, can I point out the $2 kid and Badger, the younger brother, they have old man face as children. Right? So kind of like the kid in Stargirl. Yep. It's like, no, you're way too old from the neck.
Yep.
This is disturbing.
Some people are just punished that way.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know if we get it. We have to get him in this sequence, but whenever you see the dad in front of the garage door, they always cut to the neighbor peering over at him.
Yep.
He's often doing something worth watching, which is pretty great. So let's see here. We are coming up to okay. We got well, this one's mine. So I suppose we have to talk about the food.
Yes. It's like a weird running gag.
Well, it's very similar to Calvin and Hobbes. The mother is always serving food that is kind of glop.
But more than glop, like at one point she's literally wrestling tentacles in a pot.
Yeah.
I remember though the filming and debut of this movie predates Calvin and Hobbes by a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not saying that Bill Watterson was inspired by Better Off Dead, but wouldn't it be a great story if he was?
So, I'm gonna run a couple seconds here, but I'll say this.
It's tryouts for the high school ski team. He's going up to Mount Brody with Beth.
Oh, sure, he's going up with Beth. He can't do anything without that girl.
Okay, so in 9 seconds, we have literally told the audience what is going to now happen, why it matters, who he cares, everything in this movie has been given to you in 9 seconds. And I love that.
All while explaining the Badger is a weird ass kid. Look at that smoking jacket.
Yep.
You know? I didn't even know the smoking jackets came in leopard and in size 4 kids.
His perfect hair, the fact that he's always doing paperwork,
this is my favorite gag because this could go down a very dark path. This could go sideways in a hurry. But I'd love that.
What do you mean? So just because he has 2 Jacubra hats, you think that that he's a danger? The Room is a hint. This is Call the Cops.
Totally. The fact that the dad says, he's obsessed or whatever, and then you cut to this scene is just.
Well, no, it's great because he says obsessed, and then the wife says obsessed, and then it cuts.
This is another weird running gag that's going throughout the whole movie. The kid is taking the prizes out, and this pays off like 3 different times throughout the movie. They just
the coupons,
crap just spilling out. I love it. That's funny to me.
And they're committed to the joke, which I really appreciate.
And I think that's the thing. I think individually, a lot of these jokes are not that funny, but when you string them together, they actually like they gain potency with each occurrence.
Okay, so here's the part where I'm going to be. I'm just going to apologize for my obsession.
Nerd out, man.
I love skiing. Okay, I had those bindings. Okay, I didn't have those skis. Those skis were some weird off-brand, but I had those bindings. I had Kerma poles. I had that freaking ski tote he's using, and it was completely worthless. Honestly, that they're portraying it as terrible as it truly was. This movie sends me back to my early days. And he has much cooler boots than I ever had, just for the record. But like his clothes, he's wearing the puffy vest over the sweater because we didn't know what Gore-Tex was really back then. We kind of figuring it out. And, you were cold, but you didn't care because you were a kid, and kids generate lots of heat anyway. So it was great.
That's right. So I'm watching this scene, and Kathleen, this is right when Kathleen is sitting down to watch the movie, and she starts saying, I think that's the Bill and Ted princess. And this leads to furious IMDb looking up because she's, you don't see her much in this shot, and like they cut back to other characters a bit, and we keep looking her up, and it was thrilling to discover that she was, because as far as I could tell, this is the only other thing she's ever done.
No, she was the girl, the paramour, if you will, the muse in The Last American Virgin. She's the one who rejects the guy at the end. And it's like this devastating scene. She's cute. She's a known cute girl.
Without saying anything, that tells you everything you need to know about
Totally.
Ricky. Yep. I mean,
Yep.
Like in the 70s, that would be perfectly acceptable. I shared a picture, like I think my first grade picture of the outfit my mom put me in, like, that's just what you wore back then.
Yep.
But at the time this movie was made, that was as uncool as you possibly could be.
For sure.
Right. But Ricky, that actor owns it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, his mother does too. Like you don't get hair and makeup like that unless you're ready for it, Yeah.
If you can go forward about 10 seconds, there's a gratuitous nasal spray scene, which I feel like combined with Ghostbusters, is the apex of.
This is my French born. Toby's staying with us.
Oh. Oh.
like we've established who this person is by his first on-camera action, which is taking nasal spray.
Honestly, what makes Ricky probably my favorite character in this movie is if you actually wrote out his dialogue, it would maybe be a paragraph, right?
Totally.
Almost everything Ricky does is silent.
It's Chaplin-esque.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and it's worth pointing out that the director, he would go on to do Rugrats and the rest. He is a master of, this was a choice he and the producers made, and Ricky owns it. But this is in a lot of ways a genius film.
Well, okay. So what I realize here is that all of the things that he's doing here, like for the outfit, like his look, everything about him, this is what you would do if you were making an animated film. You've got, you've got 2 seconds to get across this concept, like to introduce these characters. And this movie just does it ruthlessly efficiently.
Caricature. Like the other thing that I found is that because this is the actor who played Dennis Blunden from Head of the Class.
Yep.
Which I had like genuinely fond memories of.
Oh yeah.
I found myself like rooting for this guy, even though like he's kind of the villain or one of the villains in this movie. Because I just like that actor so much.
So here's the bad news about this guy. This is Dan Schneider, right?
Yeah.
He goes on to produce a whole ton of shows for Nickelodeon in the 2000s. And he's apparently now in the Hollywood bad list. And it's not clear why. You can read lots of conspiracy theories on the internet. But one thing that is clear is that all of his shows feature little girls and feet. way more than you would think that they should. So that's him.
There you go.
All right, let's see where we got here. 850. Oh, we're going up to, again, another one of the weirdest things that you could ever insert into a movie like this. And again, this is another great example. These characters are kind of worthless. You know, they don't really add anything, but this is funny. I mean, this is straight up weird and funny.
And they don't explain who they are.
No, totally.
Until like the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or why they're talking like that. Or...
Yeah.
An audacious display of seething opponents. Once again parallel in an obstinate attempt to probe.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just a straight up good comedy premise idea.
Yeah.
This movie also does a lot with actors looking at photographs of other actors.
Yeah, they really do. So what I was going to say about the previous scene, you don't need to go back. Don't go back. It was also when he starts, he's in reverse and he hits a guy. And that's the first time you see Porky from the burger shop that he ends up. We'll see him again. But it's so funny because he says, I think that's the one where he goes, I'm going to reorganize your ghetto blaster as he's trying to beat the crap out of him. And I'm like, I'm going to optimize your ghetto. He's just like this ridiculous line. And it's like, I hear that line every time I'm in traffic. I'm just like, wait, I'm going to run. And I'm like, Porky's going to go crazy in this traffic. Anyway. So the only thing is I want you to play this with sound for like, I don't know, 3-4 seconds.
Yeah, I got the note. We're doing it.
If he asks me out, of course I'm going to go out with him. I mean, he's a K-12. Yeah, he's so boss.
He's so boss.
That's it. But she's talking about, of course, the other guy.
The other guy. And she's got his
Roy
picture.
Stalin.
Roy Stalin.
Not messing around.
Great name, you know?
Not messing around. But yeah, she's got the other picture just right there. I mean, that's great. So at this moment, I literally stood up in my room and said, wait, there's skiing in this movie. Like the other stuff, like I know he was carrying skis and stuff, but at that point, this is now the second time where I'm like, okay, I have to reset what I think this movie is. This is a movie about the kids who have to like save the ski resort or something. Maybe I just get this confused with one of those movies.
Yeah. So then you realize you were not wanting to say anything. You're like, there's no old folks home in this movie. You know, there's no eye on the sky in this movie. Anyway, so I'm really glad that you had a marker to stop here because I have to tell you. And again, I apologize for the incipient nostalgia. This is a run called The Cirque at Snowbird. Okay. And I was so intimidated by The Cirque and by East Greeley and these other runs that I didn't do them until I was in my 40s. Okay. But I have to tell you, K-12, it's not that hard. I actually went down this thing after like this insane 42-inch snowfall, and I rode down it on the backs of my skis just the whole way, just like giving off a fantail of snow.
But did you do it on one ski?
You know, I would lift my leg up from time to time in honor of this show. Yeah, this is not and I'm a decent skier, so take it with a grain of salt. But like, you know, it's like, dude, you can't let the run intimidate you. You know, that run should not intimidate you. It's not like some weird tunnel couloir, you know, it's just a run. Take it easy, Lane. You're psyching yourself out, buddy.
So
the French girl's right.
Stalin's introduction is pretty efficient as well, setting him up as the D-bag as fast as you can. But I want to run. I'm going to run this 10 seconds.
You'll make a fine little helper. What's your name?
Charles DeMar.
And his introduction is totally stolen by Booger.
Yep.
God bless you, Charles.
He will always be Booger to me.
Yep.
And Roy Stalin has this look on his face after he said that, like, it's so funny.
Yep. That is a punchable face right there.
You should let it play for like 3 seconds. Let it play for 3 seconds.
Shut up, geek. What's your name?
It's like he goes from like Charming. Hey, how you doing? I'm Roy Stalin. To I'm Stalin, and I'm going to kill all 20 million people in Russia. In your
we were actually talking about him as being kind of he has a Homelander vibe for his channel changing in moods.
That's a good catch. So the other thing I want to point out is they're standing in front of the Midgad chair, which is still there, but they did replace the chairs with more modern chairs. So that's what you take when you're going to the train park.
This is just where you really Charles DeMar really gets his character really gets completely explained by.
He's a punk.
Yeah, he gives him the old Rocky speech.
Yep.
Almost verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
Almost verbatim, yeah. It was great.
Now you show him, Rock. You show him how a skier really skis.
You show him, Rock. Again, they committed, man, all the way around.
It's great. And then like 4 or 5 seconds later,
Okay, we're sending him down. That's a Roger.
Roy Stallin's like, is he your main wiener man? And it's like, oh, so gross. Okay. So if you go to
1334.
You have to back up a little bit, yeah. All right, you got to let it play because the narration as he's going down SR 124 down Little Cottonwood Canyon, a road I've driven many times, is absolutely savage.
Talk. We've been seeing an awful lot of each other lately, and I really think it's in my best interest if I went out with someone more popular. Better looking, drives a nicer car.
Okay. I'm just like, oh. Okay.
He really parked it in the right place there. He got a good one.
A man beat the once great Shaq. Now a study in moppishness.
It's a great line.
Weirdly
and then
written.
he hits Porky again.
Yep.
So
because it's got to happen. And now this is
the
now
actual point of the show.
Right. Well, we're 15 minutes in, and now during this scene, I am again saying to myself, what movie am I watching? Because up until this point, it's been absurd and kind of surreal, and this is dark.
Wait a minute. Now the title actually makes sense.
Yep. Death here.
Yeah, I liked this tremendously, but this is the part where I was like, wait a minute, this is just a different movie. What's going on here?
And good old Charles, I can't even get real drugs here.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you got to go back. So to the scene where he was hanging himself.
Okay.
And he's like, wait, this is death. I'm not going to do this. This is crazy. And then his mom knocks him off the ledge. And it's like,
this is death here.
it's dark. It's funny, though. Oh,
I haven't even been to New York City.
Because she's, you know what she's vacuuming up is all the crap from the cereal box.
Yeah. They show her vacuuming. She's always, doing housewife stuff. They don't waste a second of her.
Well, she looks about 23 now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she is too young, and like all the high school students are like in their 30s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A rest stop on the way to a ski slope. I can't even get real drugs here.
It's a good line.
He says holding
he was
ready waiting.
So back in Utah in the 80s, kids would do that. They would invert the cans or something, and they're called whippets.
Not just in Utah, my friend.
Oh, yeah. What's funny is this is based mostly in Utah with some scenes filmed in Glendale, right? So it's like watching this stuff, I'm like going, dude, I know where that is, all the time. So.
What if I ski the K-12? You think she'd take me back? Now back to suicide again.
All right, there we go. We told you what's going to happen in the third act, and we've now set up what's going to happen for the rest of the second act. Very efficient. I'm pleased with that. But unfortunately for all of us, the next thing that we have to see might be a little bit rough for our more sensitive viewers.
The mystery.
I love this. Is my favorite thing that she makes, and it reminds me of. So my mom was kind of like this. My mom is a horrible cook. I was always trying new recipes, and the most famous one in our house was she made something called hot dog stew one time, and my dad looked at it and simply grabbed the bowl and threw it in the garbage.
Moldy tarp. You do know the tarp.
It's got raisins.
The mail got wet in the rain, so I did what I can. It has raisins in it. And I'm like...
Then in about 30 seconds, it moves off his plate on its own.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I had that one marked.
1752 is the...
Okay, this one's for Chris.
Mainly because your girlfriend, Beth, said it was, I believe the term was, tasty.
Tasty?
Let's see, 1752.
It was crisp September morn, and you asked to borrow some money to buy a car because your girlfriend Beth called it tasty. I was just like, it's lyrical.
So, okay, that right there was the final point for me trying to make sense of this movie, and that was also the point where I realized I was going to have to rewatch the first 20 minutes of this movie, because like that right there is so weird that like I'm like, okay, is that real? Is that a coefficient of friction thing? Is their house crooked? Is she baking sentient food? I could not figure out what was happening. Is that a fantasy? Is he hallucinating?
No, it's a punchline.
It's a punchline. The food has become alive and motile.
I remember this from when I saw this in the 80s. Is the "What are you doing with all this kid stuff garbage" line.
And the running gag of the kid being like a genius inventor is really funny. Like, I love it. It's charming. It has nothing to do with anything.
No, it's just everyone's a little weird.
Badger has old face, though. I mean, look at that kid.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's got old face, old hair, old eyes, you name it.
He's wearing wraparound sunglasses.
I was a little concerned at first shot of this because my kids were in the room and I wasn't sure if they were topless or not.
So what I want you to do is play with sound all the way through the 8 seconds, okay? Okay, that's it. Those two laughs were the same laugh that they just used twice. And I recognized that the first time I saw the movie, it upset me. It still upsets me, and it haunts me to this day.
They couldn't get a second laugh.
A second laugh. They had to.
We don't got time for that. We don't got time for that. Let's see. I had something here. I didn't bother mapping this to a button, but I feel like at any given moment, I should be able to just...
$2.
I should just be able to play this.
$2.
Because I think that's where we're at now.
Wait, what did it cost?
$2. Go ahead, man.
He didn't ask for a dime.
That's right.
Here it is. The most famous line of the movie, right?
Well, it's funny, see, my mom had to leave early to take my brother to school and my dad to work because...
$2. Cash.
See, the problem here is that...
Cash. So yeah, now I have this.
$2.
So if ever I need that.
Did any of you guys have paper routes where you had to do collections?
I was fortunate. I delivered papers, but I never had to do the collections.
Wait,
yeah.
Were there some 12-year-olds who had to do collections on newspapers?
Well, yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, like our whatever hometown paper, the Holland Sentinel, it worked like the you did your paper route and you had to do collections. I did it for like 3 months, and collections were the worst.
Yeah.
Like there were always families that didn't pay, and you ate it as a paper boy when people didn't pay for their newspaper.
You know, that Hearst family, they shouldn't have done that to all those kids. That's not fair.
That's why he's after him. That's why I sympathize with the paper boy in this movie.
For sure.
I mean, it was strange for him to target the kid of the house, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little off.
You know,
you can go ahead. I think I wrote down the wrong time.
All right.
To say the truth.
The next scene, I wish we could play this.
Oh no, I remember what it was. So that was, he gets a car, and there's just an endless chain of sad love songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good.
That was fantastic.
It's a good musical gag. That's definitely something that we can't play. We'll get like 8 copyright strikes in a row.
If you leave your lava,
and the fetal pig in math class.
Yep.
Geometry.
And the fact that everyone is enraptured by his sort of faux geometry lecture.
I love that gag.
And
I have to
and
tell
this
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this was another one where I kept expecting him to wake up, like after he found out he had no pants or whatever.
Well, there is a scene where he kind of has a daydream.
The results, please.
It's Christopher Lloyd's brother.
Ah.
I like all the gags. Like everybody's got their gadgets.
Yep.
I mean, it's so stupid. I love it.
So this scene, I have to tell you, this scene was basically reenacted in my stress nightmares for a decade or two, where basically I'm in class, I haven't studied, I haven't read the book, I'm a mess. I was never naked, so you weirdos. But like seriously, like this was the architecture of the stress nightmare forever, right? Let's see. But also, I have to tell you, this made me want to be a math teacher because I was like, I'm totally bought into this. And then the scraping sound of the chalk. Go for it. You got to play that.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to note the hair shot, but. So that shot is like a second and a half, and they had to put all of those people in makeup, wigs, and do hair. Like that was probably fairly expensive to do. That is a lot of kids.
Yeah. That was commitment.
It was.
And look at the board. It says, "Sit down, be quiet, and shut up." And that guy runs the most entertaining class this side of Hamilton's history.
Yep.
I
just liked this shot.
Yep.
Again, this is like they don't do a lot of like this isn't a cinematography movie really, but this is nice nice camera angle work here and super weird. Although I feel like this wall is too tall for the room that they're in.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a little concerned about that.
But it's really like you were saying earlier. You can tell that Savage Steve Holland was destined to do animation, which is what he would do with most of his career. So this is great. So you have to play it with sound from, is this one that I put in? Okay, you got to play it with sound. Just
broke. Take it easy, Beth. I'll buy you a new one.
I don't want a new one. Do you know what that means?
I'm sorry.
And then you got to show the board. Just go forward like 1 frame, 2 frames.
Baby.
So while he's daydreaming, he's doing this. It's so funny. I'm sorry. I got it right. I'm sorry.
He still got his pig.
Like,
I've been going to this high school for 7.5 years. I'm no dummy.
I'm no dummy.
I'm no dummy.
I'm no dummy.
Maybe that should be the sample that I pull out to program into the soundboard, because I have a feeling that
$2.
that gets a little old. But I'm no dummy. That's a bottomless pit.
Well, the best part is actually the lead in. I've been going to this high school for 7.5 years. I'm no dummy. I know how high school girls work. And it's like, oh yeah. So all I wanted to say, you got to play this scene.
If you would mind if I took out Beth?
That's like, dude, not appropriate. She's much younger than you, and you're a teacher. I'm like, what high school do you think this is? And then I should tell you the story of when I went to East High School in Salt Lake City, and the creative writing teacher married one of my classmates after she got pregnant. So he graduated senior year, and they got married, and she was pregnant. And it's like, oh.
I'm glad he brought his pig to the lunchroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
While he does Jello cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is another one that I remember being scandalized by in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Didn't we do that in the lunchroom, Nate?
Yeah, probably.
I do recall making a fairly substantial number of green Jello Chia Pets. By inserting the straw and like pulling, like extruding out lines from the Jello. Did that a lot.
That's right. We always had green.
Yep, always green.
I want to point something out here. Look at all these old people in the high school cafeteria.
Totally.
That dude is 30. And Booger has also got old man face.
Well, no, but Booger is Booger. I mean, he was classic 80s cinema. But like, look at the woman and the gay fella next to her, and like the guy over his right shoulder. I'm like, they're 30.
This sequence.
You so much as talk to her and you're dead. So let's just say you give it up.
Yeah, Oscar Mayer. I think that's...
You were too far ahead.
Was I?
It's not. Yeah, because you have to do like, it's 30, 39. Here, hit play.
Well, I'm...
Not a chance.
She'd go out with me in a second.
Listen, Lane, you forget. Chris Cremens dates the basketball team. Not certain members of the team, Lane. The whole team.
Classy.
and they flipped over to Chris Cremens, and she's like 32.
Yeah.
So.
But that is most 80s.
I also like that the basketball team does not actually talk. They just make grunting noises.
Right?
There. So for me, that dude behind him, one of my favorite characters in the movie. I wish he was in more. Just standing.
I saw him and I thought it's Chris Hamrick's spirit animal. Like,
right.
Well, he's wearing like the eye surgery glasses.
Yeah.
That I had after LASIK. And I think he's got tape over the right-hand side, actually attaching it to his head. I'm like, was he part of like some weird, like cyberpunky movie, like Mad Max? And then he was just on the set. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get to the craft table. Oh, I'm in the movie,
Here's a classic.
This is another classic line. Go and play it.
And that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
That was in the trailer. Like they were like, we're showing this in the trailer, as he flies by on the trash cans. Oh, okay. So the thing I wanted to share is, so this came out when I was in high school, and what we would do on the regular is Brighton Resort would have like $2 Tuesdays or like $5 Wednesday. I mean, like they would do anything to get weekday skiers, right? And so we would be driving in, and like my friends and I, we'd be like, it snowed last night. And everyone's like, dude, we can't skip school again. I'm like, the skis are in the trunk, because I had this big ass Buick, right? And they're like, oh man, okay, let's go. And so we would skip school and we'd go to Brighton, we go to Solitude and do this $2 skiing, right? And like this mantra from Booger was just like, it's sometimes that's all we'd say. If we go downhill,
let me run it.
That way. Really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Deep.
Right. That's all we'd have to say, and then we would end up skipping school and going skiing. So
I never skipped school. I was a good boy. That's
a
lie.
Terrible.
Didn't I skip school with you, Nate, once just to go see Star Wars?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, why do you have a fake ID? So I can vote.
That's right. All right. This is you again, Chris. I'll let it run for 10.
You got it.
You have Christmas in France? Christmas.
Wow.
So I didn't mark anything during this sequence, but Ricky's interaction with that little clown doll he has is so freaking brilliant and creepy. I could watch it over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's genius. He does more with that clown doll than like Scorsese does with all of Casino.
Here, I've brought you the creepiest thing imaginable.
So Rob, do you now know where I got that picture for the game? Yeah. So this is hidden in the game, everybody, that we've been working on. So we hid this in the game as one of the posters. Nice. Because I just the picture of Ricky is so funny. So.
And again, another use of a kid to stare lovingly at a photograph. They do that a lot. Oh, good. Did I get this one or did one of you guys? It's great.
I think we might all. So what's great is when she hands him this thing, she's like, everyone is wearing this year or whatever, and you're thinking, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But sure enough, the neighbor is in one.
Neighbor has an aardvark jacket.
Everyone's gonna be wearing this. It's sure warm.
It's made with real aardvark fur.
Oh, it's so funny. Aardvark fur. Do they even have fur?
Committed to the bit.
No,
Man.
I don't.
Lane, can I talk to you for a moment, please?
Lane, can I
Who
talk
had
to
that
you for a
one?
moment?
That was you, Chris.
Really? Oh no, I just it was the mailman. So if you scooch,
yeah,
the mailman basically says, "I heard you stopped dating Beth." Oh, and Elizabeth Daily. Oh my gosh, yeah. So okay, I must have gotten the time right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Listen, this is Elizabeth Daily. She's in Valley Girl, which I'm threatening to pick next. It's such a great movie. She's so great in it, and I just adore her. And it's just this is also the moment where they sing the name of the movie.
Yeah. No, I mean,
They hit play.
I do like the 80s movie tradition of having your own theme song in the movie performed.
In the movie,
Yeah.
during the high school dance.
There
It's
should
great.
be more of that.
And she goes, "I'd be better off dead than to live without you." And it's like Elizabeth Daily brings it.
I feel that her dress is not actually her inside of it. Like it was made on a mannequin, and then she's sort of wearing it like if I were to wear a barrel, like if I was the homeless man in a rain barrel. Like it's
She's like maybe 5 feet tall. She is a teeny person. But you do know, Rob Malda, you do know that oftentimes people will make dress on things called dress forms.
I realize that, but in this particular case, the dress was paper mached onto that and then transferred to her.
You are being distracted by ruffles, my friend.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, those ruffles have ridges too. The theme song.
There you go. We've justified the entire existence of this film.
And
that's the name of the movie.
And now we have Ricky's grand entrance, which, again, like, I love the fact that he is, in this moment, kind of cool. Like, everyone's kind of like, oh, hey.
Like almost mythical, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he has the whole dance scene.
Yeah, he has a dance routine.
I wish that it was possible for me, like whenever I had to casually stride through a doorway, for there to be a hazer or a fogger or some sort of atmospheric machine behind me.
Right?
I feel like I could probably fake that with the green screen.
Yeah, you should. You know, I mean, come on, think of the audience.
Oh yeah,
you know,
Jake and Elon, man, they need this. This is what gets them through the week.
Come on, there's like 6 people who watch these things that aren't us.
That's true. We have a baker's dozen of fans.
It's true. We consistently have 13 people watch our things.
That's right. but they're the best 13, so who cares?
I'm pretty sure it's Cliff and Tom and like a couple other of our friends. We should just have them all on and just, you know, endeavor to have every audience member on the.
We could do that. That would probably be pretty easy. But then
this is actually a very sweet scene. You know, that they interact really well. She's cute. He's cute. They're cute together. They meet cute, you know, and then
this.
the $2 gang shows up.
The $2 gang, yeah.
$2.
So that's where I grabbed the sample.
That's great.
$2.
So if I ever need that, you know, I got it. Just so we're clear.
It's
there. It's like I have it on an NVMe, which is this fancy new science fiction floppy disk that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that the paper boys run in packs like werewolves.
Yep,
for sure.
They protect each other when there's someone who they can't collect from.
Yeah,
but that makes sense.
You know, since they're basically a horrible gang.
No, they just want to be paid back, pay what they're owed. And again, they set it up and they pay it off, and it's total nonsense.
Yep.
From household items.
Yep.
Well, what's really funny about this is it's the U.S. Kids Space Academy.
Yeah.
Somebody put some love and effort into that pamphlet. And remember, right before that, he went by his room and it was filled with trashy girls.
Yep.
So it's like
he had ordered that book, How to Pick Up Trashy Women.
Yep. This whole sequence grossed me the hell out.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, first of all, you're not supposed to put that stuff so far up your nose and ears.
Like, and the thing is, there's been a lot of movies that have done this, right? Where you dedicate a large percentage of time to an actor just doing something dumb with his face. I always think of Pee Wee Herman putting Scotch tape on his face for like a full minute in the first Pee Wee.
A half hour of teeth brushing Ferris Bueller's, right? And it's like, what's going on? I don't want to be in this kid's bathroom, you know.
It's not what I wanted out of my day. All right. So we didn't actually spend a lot of time in the restaurant until this point, right?
No, this
is the first and last time he's in.
Yep.
Well, he comes back.
That's not the last,
No,
because
this is his date.
Oh, right, the scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have pride and class in this business.
Yep, pride and class.
Dipping his dentures in the kids' drink.
You
with
got
a cigar and the hamburger.
All of the gags in this sequence are great, and they're so weird.
Well, wait, before you go forward, just before that, you don't have to go back or anything. He's like, well, I'm gonna go wash my hands. He's like, you wash your hands on your own time,
right? Makes him.
And I want to give Porky credit though, right? I mean, after this kid has ruined his car not once but twice, front and back bumper, right? He still gives him a job, and he's such a slack. He does a terrible job. I mean, you're not telling me he made a lot of really cool burgers.
Okay,
he's mostly going around with his pens.
But now we have to talk about this, which is he goes into like a Frankenstein's monster thing and then creates a sentient hamburger.
Yeah, sure.
That happens.
Everyone to the sounds of Van Halen's "Everyone Wants Some," which was foreshadowed in the poster.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
is the slogan for the burger joint.
Right.
So this was the final moment for me watching this movie where I'm like, I literally have no idea what this movie is anymore, but I am fairly certain that at no point in this movie is John Cusack going to hold a boombox over his head to serenade Beth.
Wait a second. Are you saying that this movie isn't Pride and Prejudice?
It is not.
This isn't Star Wars?
It is definitely not Star Wars.
Platoon is way different than I thought it would be.
Are you saying Apocalypse Now doesn't have animated hamburgers?
I mean, look at this. This is commitment. They made a little French fry hot tub
out of a
fryer.
Piece. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
But now we have to get back to the real important stuff of the movie. Here we go.
The skiing
on the Cirque K-12. The thing is, there is like this rocky outcropping. You need to go pick one way or the other way. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Either way you pick, it's fine. It's not super. I mean, yeah, there's a jump in the center one if you're not careful. But, just saying. This is a great scene.
First, we have French fries.
That's right. French fries. They
should play the whole.
Oh, okay.
If you can play another like 5 seconds.
And French dressing.
Now pause, and then.
Oh yeah. So if I wait,
look at the look between the two of them, it's just like every frame, a scene.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what went into this frame. You've got the thing around his head. He's covered in this weird blanket that has gasoline on it or something.
Yeah.
You have the wonky lady, Ricky's mom. You've got his mom, who's only 20 years old or whatever, wearing these like Little House on the Prairie clothes the whole time. And now hit play again.
And French bread. And to drink.
And a drink. Ta-da.
Peru.
Perrier. So to this day, every Christmas with my sister, she will say, "Do you want some French bread? Do you have Christmas in France?" So it's just like it's just a thing we do now.
I understand.
Because it's a moral imperative.
All right, pretty much from this point on, all the notes are Chris.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys, you never put enough notes in the late part of the movie.
Hey, I've got 2.
Oh, that's true.
Nate's got
true.
one.
He's got one. Okay, so I guess we're gonna go to what do we do?
I'm here, man.
Oh, I find her so repellent. Just hit play for a few seconds.
No. Love. The language of love.
Because she's talking about that she doesn't speak English, she speaks the international language.
Right.
Love. And it's like, you're like a horrible pimp for your child.
I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. When Rob or Nate proposed this movie, that's literally what I said. Real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. And then this scene. So I want to point out, there's not a single woman in this group of nuns. Nope. And that's the Wasatch Range behind them. All right, I've actually climbed that mountain. I've been to the top of it. It's not very tall.
Wait, maybe the one on the left is going to bring the radio to John Cusack.
Here's your say anything person. Yeah,
she's just a little
like. This is just like, so they have this big scene in Glendale and another big scene in Glendale, and like half a minute in Utah with these nuns, and it's like, what? Who was planning these scenes out? You know. Anyway. Oh yeah, so you have all seen.
Team on Sunday. All you gotta do to be captain, Meyer, is beat me.
Beat me.
So you've seen the South Park where there's a skiing competition. Yeah. Come on, Darsh. Yep. That came from this movie.
Pizza, French fries.
Pizza, French fries.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Pizza.
Actually, you know, I think they're having a 1 hour special on South Park tonight.
Oh wow! Well, I guess they're not their last season.
Yesterday.
Oh, pandemic special. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, and then you got to play it from whatever that time code is there.
I mean, the tryouts won't be the same if you're not there.
No, not there, not there. It's like
I gotta jump up to the next one.
Yeah, and then just hit play.
Chicken.
What did you say?
Anytime, you name it.
Oh, Meyer, you're digging your own grave.
No one.
That guy's so cool.
Yeah, it's like Sunday, high noon. Now, here's the thing about Utah ski resorts back then in the 80s. So Salt Lake was like 95% Mormon, right? And on Sunday at 12 o'clock, they're all in church. So if you're a skier, you're on the mountain Sunday at 12 o'clock because there's no one there. It's fantastic, right? It's not true anymore. There's a lot more people now. But like back then, man, if you were at Alta at 12 o'clock or snowboard at 12 o'clock, you had the whole mountain to yourself as a non-Mormon kid. So
this poor son of a bitch all wrecked up. He's like, yeah, I tried skiing the K-12, you know, after the Olympics, everything looked so easy.
Yeah. It was really funny. This is such a good scene.
All right.
So there's this whole thing that so y'all didn't do a single note here.
There's plenty
like coming up. I have one coming up in 6 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, here, go ahead and play this scene. It's really.
You big faker. You speak English.
But of course I speak English.
I loved that.
Like, but not to the man with the handsiness, you know.
That's the gross
and
people.
This kicks off like the whole like montages with her fixing the car, and she's super cute, and yeah, it's great.
He uses a chance to put his testicles all over me.
His what?
How you say, octopus, testicles.
Tentacles.
Yeah, so he's stop. But here's the thing. This is the first time that joke style was really done. Like where somebody says a word, but they actually say testicles. I don't think it happened before this movie. And then it happened a lot. Like there's a lot of movies where people mispronounce things, and usually foreign, and it's very, very funny, right? Anyways, look at it. Like the strategically cute, you know, stains. I mean, this is a classic 80s montage.
For sure.
And somehow they magically put new tires and did at least $5,000 worth of body work on the car.
Yeah.
And it's a heck of a car. I mean, it is tasty. I mean,
I know.
That is a tasty car. That's an SS.
I would definitely break up with Lane and to go up with Stalin for this.
If he bought that car for $200 and his French girlfriend got it in that shape over a weekend, he did fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because look at that.
And look at how cute she is. It's like, it's obvious what the right choice is.
For sure. Ain't nobody got time for no Beth.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going. Go to the next one. So they have the race where he gets his confidence back, which is great. And then she's like, all you have to do is...
It goes that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Perfect.
And it's like, I hate to say it, as far as advice goes, it's not terrible. Like once you get to a certain level of skiing, it's just about doing it. You know, you point your skis down, you go, you know? So.
Len, are you all right?
You're mad about me, aren't you?
Well, so this is all very cute, but the reason I wanted to show this to you is the marker bindings that they were using. I think it was marker or look. I had the same binding. And the reason I know I had the same binding and why this movie is so funny is about a year before this movie, I was on a run. It was the end of the day off of Road to Provo in Alta, okay, which is a ski run. And I went over a mogul wrong and I fell and I got knocked out, right? And when I went to go put my gear on, and people were like, "Are you okay, kid?" I'm like, I'm fine, get away from me, right? Because I was embarrassed, right? And I went to go put my stuff back on. And do you know what happened? One of my bindings had sheared off in the crash, which is not supposed to happen. And what happens in this movie? What happens in this movie, guys?
Somebody researched this, man. They knew that this was going to happen.
I was shocked when I saw this.
Oh,
because there was a recall, and because when I took my skis in to get fixed, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's a recall on these bindings. Yeah, they shear off and stuff in accidents." And I'm like, "Oh, good to know." But like that happens to John Cusack's character in this movie. I'm still amazed.
Cool.
So the other thing I was going to say is this is a great skiing montage scene, but none of these runs connect like that. It's not a thing. You know, like Black
movie ruined.
Does not connect to the Cirque, does not connect to GAD 2 like that. It doesn't connect to the cat track from Big Emma over to Windermere. That's not how the mountain's laid out, but I get it.
Rob, I think in post you better edit in some people who have actually skied for Chris's conversation here.
Yep. You're gonna want to skip the last 15 minutes. It's mostly about bindings, and to be fair, I'm not sure what bindings are.
That's how your skis attached to your ski boots.
You mean
the
boots?
Binding.
The boots?
No. The boots attached to the ski you put them in the binding, which binds the boot to the ski. Binding.
I know.
I can go get them. Do you want me to go get them? No.
Sure. I bet if we can get through the rest of these notes while he's getting them.
Yeah. It's just cute. She says kick his ass.
Yep.
I think it was the first time in a movie a girl said to a guy, kick his ass in a cute way. And it was very inspiring for him. So, and then he goes to put up, and his binding doesn't work.
Of course.
So the thing is, you need to go back and you need to be still on that frame at what is that, 25:59. So right as he pops out there, that is not John Cusack. If you go to the other like 2 frames where the snow's not in front of his face, it's so obviously not John Cusack.
Yeah, he's a much bigger man.
He didn't do his own stunts in this movie, Chris?
Well, I mean, he was skiing in a bunch of it, and he was skiing fine. But that wasn't John Cusack. I mean, come on.
Everything's ruined. Next, you're going to tell me that hamburgers are incapable of rising up, dancing together in a cute little musical montage, and then cooking French fry people.
You skipped over the end of the paper boy.
Oh, did I?
I can't put in everything.
Way to go, Chris.
Rob was just on it. That's what I was saying.
Rob was on it. There's a scene where the paper boy goes off a cliff and I want my $2. $2. So yeah, the only thing I said is, so he comes down to the bottom of right next to the mid-GAD 2 chair. Anyways, and Beth's like, "You can have me because you won," and it's like, she's terrible. She's a terrible plastic person.
That's right.
Who is not worthy of John Cusack's attention.
But don't worry, because you've got a princess, a legit time-traveling princess, and she's way better because she can fix your car.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
she's a grease monkey and she's got cute grease on her nose.
All you're gonna do from now on is buy $200 Camaros and have your French girlfriend fix them up for you.
Don't worry, my French girlfriend will take care of that. I'm cha-ching, 15 grand profit.
Yeah, exactly.
A proper skiing jumpsuit. I mean, she's got it going on. Now you got to play this with audio.
Ricky, do something to him.
So, and then they have the epic
They have to
film
duel
and
for her honor.
Yep.
sword, right, with the ski poles. And this is weird too.
I have a question,
it's
Chris. When you do this on the ski slopes, do the bindings matter?
No, but the pole you choose really matters. And you don't need to play this. It's fun.
It's
for sure.
It's charming.
But it's not worth the copyright strike. But look at Ricky. He's into the scene, man. Everyone in this scene, and then he ends up on top of his mom, and she's like, "Ricky, get off of me!" And he's like,
And
then
the payoff that in the end, even Ricky finds love, right?
Yeah.
How beautiful! What a wonderful! I love how he examines her hand.
Look at that look.
Like, oh, you're a person.
I like humans. All right. Well, nobody put the notes in.
Wait, you gotta go back.
But yeah, I'll go get the two obvious things from the end here, because we've got the. I'll jump. What? Oh, we missed the saxophone shot earlier. Nobody noted that one. Yeah, because John Cusack plays the saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the girl in the Porky's restaurant.
That's right. But how do we end up?
Well, this is the Los Angeles Stadium, isn't it? I mean, this is Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, which is so weird because everything else has been in Greendale with a community college outside of Alta.
Her whole thing is she's obsessed with the Dodgers.
She's got the hat.
Dodger Stadium.
Oh, right.
So he just did a hard burn all the way through Nevada.
Yep. Got the.
Well, I've been there.
The second base car. Or the second base gun.
That's home plate.
And here he comes.
They're just kissing, man. That's not.
There he is.
There he is.
He made it.
Oh wait, I'll let it run so he fits on the screen. Oh, sorry. There's the kids on the screen, Jake and Elon. He's obscured by Nate and Rob's heads. So yep. He comes back in with his catchphrase.
$2.
Guys, that movie made my day. I watched it twice.
The second time, did you still think it would say anything?
I was a little unsure, but the second time that I saw the sentient green pudding crawl across the table, I was fairly certain that he was not going to fall in love with Beth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this might be one of the most sort of under the radar, underrated comedies of the 80s. I adore this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the movies that we've watched for this, the ones that I haven't seen, this is just delirious fun.
Yeah, it's so good.
So thank you for this recommendation. I almost feel bad with whatever I'm going to hurl at you next. Because I guarantee there's three choices and none of them are as good as this.
Well, are they themselves, period pieces?
No. So
I went about the 80s.
I made a spreadsheet of all the movies that I had a VHS cassette tape of in my home growing up. And I decided that it was time for us to go back. It's been a while since we saw Star Trek. But I've been watching The Next Generation. And the only Star Trek movie that I had growing up was Search for Spock. Which is not a good movie. But I am ready to rewatch it.
Is that the whale one?
No, that's
the whale one.
That's 4.
4 is arguably good.
So it's 3.
It's 3. The Search for Spock.
An odd number.
Yep.
Star Trek movie.
Yep.
Okay.
And to my 1980...
What are the other two options?
I'm going to save those for future weeks. You'll have to wait and see, but they're worse. But I wanted to get back to a good sci-fi kind of movie after we've had some horror, we've had some vampire, and now we've had like silly absurdist comedy. We're gonna watch what might be the worst Star Trek Question mark? I mean, I know 5 is worse, but 5, like, I feel like 5 is in a different category.
You know, you're gonna force me to pick a good movie so that Rob Rosenblum doesn't kill us.
Yeah.
After this.
It's possible. My next movie is going to be awful. So maybe we just make a run.
It's all downhill from here.
Yep.
This is the apex.
I was really tempted, so next week when I pick one to pick Nemesis, but I don't think the problem is the last half of it is unwatchable. The first half is actually surprisingly creative. The last half it's punishment. And I just can't do that to you.
I feel like I've been trying to pick movies that I really liked and think are kind of good in a way, but now the next one is just it's going to be garbage. I apologize ahead of time, but
I apologize for my next 2 movies. But I want to go through and I really want to critical eye the movies that I had, as a 5th grader, because I think that that's good for me. So with that, I will thank Nate Ostendorp.
Got to have pride and class in this business.
Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Chris DeBona, I think you
$2.
You owe me $2.
No. I'm just gonna say it's actually not bad advice. You point your skis downhill, and if something gets in your way, you turn.
I buy that. I buy that for $2. Hey, I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. This has been episode 523 of Geeks in Space Better Off Dead. We'll see you guys Friday with some news.